Hello from Safonovo. This is the podcast Pigeon on Peace, where we do discuss awesome skills of troubleshooters. Watch, listen, and check the description below for the details. Let's talk about enthusiasm, and let's start with the definition.
Sometimes when you want to do something, you have no will, no power, no energy, and this cause to not the best result. But sometimes you are so enthusiastic, so eager to do, and you have something in your heart, in your mind, in your body, and you even have your own rhythm. And with help of such situation, such a condition, you could create something which would be loved by people, loved by you, and you will be presented it with proud.
Well, when we speak about different enthusiasms, probably it could be, like something that we could apply in personal life, or it could be have the impact to the business. So is there a different way of to show it? Because at certain point of time, let's say if it's our normal life, and let's say we want to play with a child, or we want to speak to our wife, it probably could be different. But when we want to encourage people, we don't want to look like a fool or like over positive person. So what is the thin line differentiating different types of the enthusiasms?
Much better not to show enthusiasm to anyone else, and I will explain why. When you are implying enthusiasm in your personal life, no one will know it. For example, you start to run over a game, and you make a promise to run like 10 miles, but then suddenly after 2 miles you will think, okay, it's quite enough for today. I'll go and I will continue my dreams in sleep. It's okay because no one known, and no punishment would come from around. But for example, if you come to the company and you will be do something with passion, with enthusiasm, and suddenly people will know that you are going to be boring, to be sad, to be not attentive, then they would decide, okay, it is much easier to burn just a single match than to create a huge fire or fireplace. Then when you're going to a job to do your duties, better not to be enthusiastic, but to be very attentive. And you said or pronounce quite a good phrase, and I also use it something like motivational idiots, мотивированные идиоты.
Correct. That's a good one.
Thank you. So these people will laugh, they will smile, they will promise a lot, but after the result would just disappoint you.
And well, let's say there could be like a visible things that other people may notice, and yes, we could overpromise and really like underdeliver, which may happen if we burn out. But let's say if we probably live like in our inner world, so it's also again it depends how we treat ourselves. So how do we still, like probably encourage our inner person to do something? Like for example, for myself, what I'm trying to do is trying to think of me like as the third person, or even like as a company, and saying like, hey, you just need to do this. Here is, like your things, etc. So it's like internal conversation going on, but it's always, I would say, like a detachment of one thing to another, and maybe, like encouraging something like that. So whether this thing should happen or vice versa, it should be, like always outside, not inside.
You should, as you mentioned and as you described, you should use two tools. First is punishment, and second is motivation. For example, when I don't want to do cleaning in my apartment, when I was just transferring to Moscow, I was thinking in such a way, okay, if I will clean the apartment, then I could go and will be able to eat a very tasty steak, which I would expect for whole week. And the same would be, for example, with morning. Usually I'm going to bed quite late, like 5 o'clock a.m., and then it is quite hard to be wake up like at 9 or 10. But usually I put something for the breakfast, like smoked salmon, like avocado, like bananas, like chocolate, which I like a lot. But I have no test for several days. The same would be with sport. When you're going to run a marathon or Ironman, it is special preparation you should do. And last week I would eat no bread at all. But after 4 days, you will smell bread from, I know, from a mile. And then I will allow to myself 48 hours before marathon to eat some small piece of the bread. And this maybe the tastiest sweet I have ever eaten.
And I do believe that at certain point of time, we also, let's say, when we're summoned by our family or someone who is actually, like need our love and warmth, we, regardless, like in whatever we state, which usually could be like a very tired or, like occupied with something like that, could be some sort of mechanics that would allow us to put this facade and show the enthusiastic appearance. And so two mini questions here, like whether it's okay to, like not to show the enthusiastics, or vice versa, like if we want to show something, how do we approach to that, knowing that like whatever we do, it will impact this person a lot, so that we like want to avoid this kind of damage.
If you will meet your child, if you will meet your spouse or your parents or relatives, you should to be a bit enthusiastic and with a light smile on your face. It should not be seen that you have some troubles at job with your health or maybe with your business. But if you are going to customer, if you are going to partner, if you are going to government official, you are not supposed to be very enthusiastic, because in our culture, in Slovenian culture, if you are enthusiastic, it's a bit seems to be a fraudster. So maybe you try to make yourself high, but something is on your mind and you are a tricky person, so it's better not to deal with you. A lot of foreigners which came to Russia, they will note that Russian people never smile before you came, you became a friend of them. Okay, will take like 1 week or 2 weeks, or maybe you should do something for them, but smile in Slavonic culture is like a gift. It's not just duty gesture.
Well, yeah, sometimes we need to adjust to the cultures, and maybe we try to expand this one as well, because at certain point of time we actually could deal with people who like over enthusiastic or like under enthusiastic. So how do we should interpret their behavior, and whether we should match what we see with what people do?
When I was transferred to Moscow after 1 year, I became head of corporate investment block of the bank, of commercial bank, and I was having a meeting with my subordinates, and it was one girl which was very fine looking, well dressed, and she was talking like a very cultural man. But after 2 or 3 weeks, I demand to show some results, but there were nothing at all. And at this point, I suddenly understood that if people will be on the first or second meeting too enthusiastic, I will not fire this person maybe in 2 or 3 months. So enthusiastic in a business, it means that you trying to cover up something. But if you working under command with person, you should be like a battery, like a power bank. And if your boss has no power, no will, no willing to do something, you should show some enthusiasm to replace him. Okay, I will substitute you for a while you could be collecting yourself in one piece.
Well, yeah, and I do believe all of this actually summarize how enthusiasm could help to make this world a better place. Like giving in your last good example, enthusiasm could be treated as the piece of the energy transformed into the positivity. So we reviewed this skill and how it could be helpful for you. Stay in peace.